Shit, motherfucker.
What's up, guys? All right, we are live. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Y'all are up early today. What's good? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Let's kick this off. I know we're 7 minutes out from New York Open, so I want us to kind of dive right in there. But, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world plugging in today. Happy to have you guys here. This is, I think, the first time I ever do an NFP session. I don't know. I've never really done it. So I'm stoked. Nothing really different than the ordinary, but we only get one of these a month. So let's get into it. I have a couple things in mind: indices, gold, even Bitcoin. We have a lot of Bitcoin stuff happening later today as well. So yeah, let's dive right into it. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say what's up to all you guys in here. Igual, chicos, esto va a estar en español, entonces cualquier cosita aquí voy a estar cambiando de inglés a español, ahí bailando entre los lenguajes. Y bienvenidos a todos, que vamos aquí a ver unas oportunidades con los índices y con los metales. Mylan, Dennis, what's up? The Hills, Greg. How do you pronounce your name? I want to say Chaos. Case. It's a cool looking name though. What's up, Arlie, Edwin, Lonzo, Tanya? Just bought dog. Nice. I've just been scooping up more and more. Vicente, what's good, brother? Senuka, USD seller, but I'll get into it. Daniel, Sergio, ACV, Edgar, Gio, Eduardo. Oh, what's up, man? Liliana, Mylen, desde Barcelona, what's up? Bro, you should do the go live with the cam on as well. A lot better. I am working on it. Argentina, Damien, what's up, Maldonado? Buen look de cabello. Appreciate you. Wow, what a guy. And Russian, what's up, guys? Everyone's here. Let's go. Chat is active. This is what I like. Y'all are lit right now. Hope you guys moved your body a little bit early on. I know it's kind of hard to, but we got to do what we got to do. So let's get after it, guys. We're going to run through this first part pretty fast, and then we're going to kind of slow down the tempo, okay? I am going to get my camera off for a bit here because I am going to be having to manage some positions off of my phone in order to multitask appropriately. So for a little bit, I will have this camera off, but it will be back here shortly. All right, guys, so let's dive right into it. Can you pass that to me? All right, cool. So, okay, NZD USD is not a priority right now. There's a few setups. For those of you that are members of my community and just the organization in general, just like the company, etc., then you guys have seen me talk about gold quite a bit. The amount of liquidity that's been building up here is insane, in my opinion. A lot of liquidity, so I do think we can get sells over here. Entonces, chicos, aquí miren, oro. Esta es una idea que me gusta mucho. Llevamos aquí un buen rato y creo que podríamos mitigar esto con NFP. Entonces aquí tienen esta idea. So cool. This is gold. I have an alert set, so we're going to keep our eye on this for sure throughout these next couple minutes. We might get that big spike into the right zone. So we'll take a look at that. Outside of gold, the big one that I have on my radar is actually NASDAQ. So NASDAQ over here looks like a fantastic setup on the, you could say 5 minute, 15. Here we had a nice sweep to the upside before we had this current. Then we got a current sell-off. We're getting lower lows over here. So the market looks fantastic for sells in this zone. Similar in which it's just built up a lot of retail sellers. Lots and lots of money building up right over here. So we have a news event here in 2.5 minutes. For those of you that are a little bit newer to the game, usually the first Friday after like a full week of trading, you get NFP, which is non-farm employment change. It used to be called non-farm payroll. Little tweaks now here. I guess now it's NFE, but we all know it as NFP. But anyways, this tends to have, it used to be insane. Now it's still like a move, and I feel like we're getting more volatility again, but a lot going to happen. A lot can go down here, and this can influence indices. This can influence metals. This could influence quite a bit. So basically, have my eyes open on sells across the board. If you look at US30, US30 didn't quite make lower lows here. So that's why I'm leaning a bit more towards NAS than US30. Obviously, these things could, I guess, change. But at the moment, it just seems like we're slightly more bearish with NAS. So as usual, I will be opening up positions with whichever indice gets to the zone of interest last. So I want to trade the lagger. For me, that usually gives us a pretty good opportunity for success. And then the last thing, and I don't know if NFP is going to be what takes us to this moment, but I do believe that Bitcoin has left behind a very, very good looking opportunity. So I will be breaking that down as well. I do see the opportunity for Bitcoin to give us a buy. It just missed my entry here zone yesterday, and I still believe we could get there. So curious to see what happens there. So here I'm gonna go dual screen so that we can kind of get a good idea on what these indices are looking like. And then we are 15 seconds out from NFP. So volatility can ensue around here very, very soon. Let's see. Or nothing really happens and we got up early for really no reason, which is totally possible. All right, we're getting a whole bunch of momentum. And just like that, you guys are starting to notice that we are for sure getting a lot of volatility here. And it looks like NAS is going to be the better setup in this example here. So I am looking forward to taking NAS positions. If the market does, of course, get to this zone, then that will be the trade for me. All right. Okay, so we are working our way up here. Slower. Now, as you guys can tell, it's a lot slower on the way up. This zone here, this entry that I like, I am looking more to take a position right around here in this red zone. This is what looks a lot better to me. We're already seeing a pretty good rejection on US30, so you were seeing that nice sell-off. But look at this. NAS has a lot of imbalance left to get up to, so I do think this can go a little bit better. So let me translate real quick. Pero chicos, aquí en verdad estamos viendo buenas oportunidades con NASDAQ. Pueden ver más atrasado que lo que está sucediendo con US30. Entonces creo que viene un poco más lento y nos puede dar mejor oportunidad. Can't see the full screen orbits, just me. Huh? You guys, I think you guys should all be able to see this. Okay, cool. Let me know if you can't, but you should be able to. All right. So yeah, this is what I'm waiting for here. Right around a little bit longer, taking a short, and then really anywhere in this zone, in this area right here, looks solid. If we zoom out a little bit more, you'll actually see a bit more on why I want to take these positions. And I am looking at shorting this beyond the previous lows. But here we've seen support, resistance, support in the past. If we zoom out some more, you can just keep seeing these levels are consistent reversal levels. So this is why I like this zone now as well for a similar experience, for a similar drop right over here. This here, again, the conservative exit is, you see how we had a lot of resistance right there? So if you wanted to just get in and out and lock in, this would be a little bit short of a 2R, but it would be a great opportunity. And then you also have the imbalance that's just filled out. So I do want to bring attention to this because you can argue that we have NFP sweep below. So same thing here with US30. NFP, the New York Open drops and then rips. So here we see the market fall. This takes out buyers, retail buyers. Same thing here. We see a nice drop, takes out buyers, and then the market continues to go forward, right? So when we look at the market this way, there is the possibility for buys here. However, in US30, it looks like it mitigated really well. However, I'm not going to open up a buy position here if we're not really having any, if we don't sustain these highs, because then we're not really bullish. No voy a buscar comprar aquí si no mantenemos los altos. Esto puede ser solo una trampa, entonces no necesariamente digo que tenemos que comprar, pero es posible. So again, this is possible. It doesn't mean we have to take this. It's not even a confirmed setup yet. This would only be a trade for me if we can actually see demand above these highs and have some sort of, like price to actually stay up here. So if that's the case, then I would look for buys. If not, then for me, and again, of course, guys, trade your game. If this is a setup for you, take it. But for me, I don't like set, especially since we've just been bearish overall. I don't really force myself into these kinds of trades. So for me, as of right now, I'm gonna hold off on a setup like this. Now, if the sell still plays out, I will look at this as an exit point, though. But yeah, so as of now, we saw the market fly, absolutely rip into this zone. Clearly, the big buy position on Dow Jones mitigated. This is the cause of such a massive drop over here. Now, if we take a look at NASDAQ, in my opinion, nowhere near the same type of movement. We still have a lot that we can go higher here. So, yeah, so we're good over here. I'm going to go back to one screen for the time being. I have the markets here on another screen pulled up, so I can just stay on top of everything we got to be looking at. Okay. All right, and then for those of you curious about gold spiked down and then came right back up again. So we're not quite there yet with gold either. All right, so let's do a quick recap. Now we can kind of slow things down a bit. The intensity, the volatility has happened. Nothing too crazy. We had a little spike down. For me, there wasn't really a trade to take anywhere here. Same thing, like there was a lot of liquidity. So, seeing the market spike down right away, it didn't really pull into an entry. So there's nothing that I would have really done any differently here on how we went about doing this, how we went about analyzing, trading. So for me, that's cool. And then I'm sure some of you maybe sold US30. Not my confirmations. It's just not how I trade, but and it played out really well. So it's cool. Now, what I want to see is S&P. S&P also just a bit shy of the sell. So yeah, I feel pretty convicted still with how US30 is moving along, how NAS is moving along. I think with the market getting back up here, I will definitely still take a sell position on this idea here. So that's NAS. I'm gonna wait for this one to continue to rally, and then as of right now, it's honestly like it is starting to hold these highs a lot better. So we just might end up setting up for this buy. New York Open might be what triggers a sell to a buy. Something like that is a possibility. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what happens with the market in these examples. So let me go ahead and set a couple things up here. What's up with my phone? I think this thing froze. All right, cool. All right, guys. So let me set up this limit here. And then we're ready to roll. All right, so in the meantime, what are you guys looking at? What are some of the setups that you guys like at the moment? What are we waiting for here to take some quality positions? What are we waiting for? Y'all let me know. All right, can you put this back over there? Please and thank you. All right, let's get this bad boy going. So right now, as you guys can see, NAS spiked up for the last 9 minutes. Yeah, we came up, but we're losing momentum extremely fast, and we're already working our way back down. US30 is about to get to this zone. So I don't have the biggest confidence with this type of setup right now, just because we flew up and down so aggressively. I'm not fully convicted on a buy here, especially now with US30. US30 pulled back extremely fast. So if one of these were to play out, it would be NAS. NAS is kind of slower on this drop right now. So maybe NAS would be the one that plays out. But either way, the way we come back up and come back down, if we're thinking about intention, if we're thinking about context, what does this feel like? This to me looks like the intention of the move to the upside was not to make higher highs. It was to liquidate. It was to liquidate sellers. So taking a buy here, I mean, maybe we get something, but it doesn't have that intent. I don't see it. Like, it looks okay, maybe good, but it doesn't look great. So had we stayed up here a little longer, I would have felt like, okay, yes, we are bullish. Like, we want to keep going higher. Here, maybe we get a bounce, but that's maybe it. So now what is important is that we still do have this position right here, right? We have the zone, like, where big money comes in, drives the market before falling again. That is right there. And so could we still target this area? Yeah, I mean, there's an intention to get that. So that's kind of the only reason why I think, you know what, this one actually could play out. And you guys are going to notice right now, US30 is starting to break into that zone and below that zone. So considering that even US30 could go lower, so I'll just show you guys real quick. US30 here is starting to break through these lows and maybe even target this over here. I don't love the buy here. So, entonces no me encantan las compras aquí. No nos da la demanda por aquí suficiente para que con confianza pueda entrar en compras. Entonces yo aquí como que no me la creo y prefiero esperar una oportunidad con un poco más claridad en este momento. Now, what could happen here, and this might be a better setup. We'll see. We'll kind of see here. But this might end up being the smart money buy. I mean, it looks like it. because this liquidates. I mean, so like, look at this. New York session, Asian session, London session, 2.5 sessions worth of retail sellers get liquidated. The market comes right back down. So here is an example, of this. This looks like it could turn into a flip. This looks like it's starting to build out a distribution. So is this starting to set up for a sell? Now, if we keep breaking below and we can see demand below the low, then now we're bearish, and then we can look for sells. But we need that first. Like, we would need that switch in momentum, right? We would need the market to close below, keep trading below here at whatever pace, and then we could see a sell, like, something like this. But if that doesn't happen, and this just keeps going, then we don't have that yet. So this is potential. This is what this could turn into. Eso es lo que posiblemente se puede transformar, pero todavía pues no arrancamos con esto todavía, sí. All right, so let's see. Okay. All right, so while that's doing its thing, if you guys remember, for those of you that were live with me yesterday, I did have a few more ideas that I had on my radar. We had Mexican peso, we had Bitcoin as well. So we'll go ahead and take a look at those, see if we're going to get anywhere with that. Gold is still like 170 pips away, so maybe New York Open does a bit more movement. But yeah, let's look at the peso real quick. So Mexican peso, peso. So here, you guys got some quality plays over here. So we can see how the market sweeps. Oh, let me get my camera on. I totally forgot. So we can see here, there's kind of two areas, two main zones. We got this one up here. This was when they kind of updated everything with tariffs, etc. So we got a nice spike up. Market works its way down. This moment happened exactly a month after all of the conversation with tariffs in the past. Entonces, cuando los aranceles, en febrero hablamos de aranceles, hizo un movimiento enorme, y otra vez se habló de los aranceles y hizo una mitigación. So it looks like basically every time it's tariffs talk, it's mitigating some of these open positions. So here was the creation of it the last month. Here was the mitigation of that same thing right a month later. And they literally tell us next month we have updates about these things. So I think it could play out very similarly again. So this might take a few more weeks, but this one may play out sooner than later. So this is one that I have on the radar right now, more immediate. So let me break this one down. Entonces un poco más inmediato, esta zona que podríamos ver mejor gráfica por aquí. So here, to give you guys a bit more context, here's what it looks like. You got like a lot of sideways movement, consolidation, resistance. So you see that building up over here, moving like this. And then you have it moving like this. A lot of sideways movement. Market sweeps these highs, so clears this out, melts. We don't quite mitigate this. So you guys see how we don't come back to close out this move. And we end up creating more liquidity. So this is just building up so many retail sellers. And it makes sense because you need to have a lot of liquidity in order to get the positions, like for big positions to be able to enter the market. There needs to be enough sellers, right? There needs to be enough buyers. So in this example, because there would be positions taking up the stop losses over here, means that they're willing to exchange their positions at these levels, right? So enough positions can soak up the other side here. So I think we could get a sell in the zone. And even right now, we're starting to create more liquidity. There's more retail buyers just as we see through all of this. So again, taking a trade here, with Mexican peso specifically, I like to give myself a little bit more room just because I've noticed that futures is more respectful to structure, to these highs, than CFDs, than dollar peso. I've seen some wicks, but with futures, it doesn't really break or anything like that. So with CFDs, I'll give it a little bit more space. With futures, it would be like normal. But yeah, this is what I'm seeing. This right here would be about a 2.8R. And then if we do build up more liquidity down here, then I could possibly hold this a little bit lower, maybe just into imbalance. Well, it just depends on kind of what this leaves behind. But conservatively, 2.77R looks good here with Mexican peso. Okay. So, yeah. Want you guys to mark this one up. Feel free to start drawing this out. Once you have this marked up, drop a peso in the chat. Is anyone not able to see the full price? If you're not, hold on, I can fix that. I see the issue. No worries. No worries. There you go. All right, I'm looking over here for US30. I just see 42, not the rest of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, fixed it. Higher than 830 move. What's up, Cody? Solana. My futures chart on TradingView are minutes behind on the time, but not on Forex chart. Does that mean I need new contract charts? Josie, usually on TradingView, the futures charts are always delayed. At least that's how I've seen them. Like on my personal accounts, and everything's on time. But with futures on here, I also haven't really given it enough time to see if there is a futures chart that is not delayed. Maybe if you have the right contracts up or something, but from what I've seen, it's like every time it's like that. Yeah, these are usually just delayed in general. Yeah, so like this one is like 10, 15 minutes delayed? Delayed by 10 minutes. Yeah. So that's just how that's going to go. So just look at your broker when you're thinking about that. You were asking for what anyone was looking for as for sells or buys. Oh, so you're saying after higher than that 8:30 move, you're in Eastern time. I was like 8:30 move, like you are in the future. Okay, yeah, I see it too. I think we can get above that for NAS, maybe Dow Jones. We'll dive into that here in a sec. But yeah, so this is a setup. Make sure you have this drawn out. I think a lot of you already dropped that. Your area on gold for the short is my TP. Perfect. Good stuff. The gold buys were good. The gold buys were great. So New York Open going down here in about 40 minutes or so. So in the meantime, I am going to go through a few more ideas and setups in general. Today, guys, and I'm going to get into the majors in a second, but I do want to talk about Bitcoin because right now we are in this is kind of like one of those sell the news moments where, was it yesterday when Trump signed an executive order that they are basically building out the Bitcoin strategic reserve, and they were going to use like all the forfeited crypto or whatever it is that they had as like to start with. So here we saw the sweep of the highs and the drop. So we had this right there. This looks like this is the play here. So sweeps the highs. This clears out liquidity. And right now we're in kind of the beginning stages of this. We might even have a chance to sell this. So this is Bitcoin. Now remember, just like I trade indices, I also approach this with the same approach with crypto, between Bitcoin, Sol, etc. Right before, I'm going to come right back to this, but I do have something for you guys to consider. NASDAQ pumped, and then it slowly worked its way back down to here. It took 23 minutes to come back here. Who here is going to take a buy or took a buy, and who here is staying out? I'm curious. I literally just want to know. I'm not taking a buy, but, you know, I'm not saying it won't work. It could. It definitely could play out. I'm just curious. For me, this is like not an ideal setup. Like the sweep of the low, it clears out the lows, and then it pushes higher. That makes sense. If you're only looking at patterns, I get it. But for me, I have like a Maya hair right here. It's bothering me. So damn Huskies. But this is not really giving me bullish trend type of energy. Now it is building out liquidity, so I can't argue that. Retail is stacking up in here. So there's pros and cons to this. Pros and cons to this type of setup. I don't love it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So I'm at peace with not being involved. Maybe, you know, if you're like indifferent, again, you could always risk with a little bit less money. That's always an option. You could always go a little bit a little different here. That's always a play. But, you know, what you want to do at the end of the day is take a high convicted opportunity. So if you guys like the idea, then go ahead, take it. And then if you're thinking, you know what, I'm not totally in love with it, but I'm willing to risk a little bit, then that's also a possibility that you can take. So feel free, guys, to trade this in whatever way that you feel like it could make sense for you. And let me pull up the chat here real quick. Okay. What are you guys doing here? Like I said, I can see this thing go up. But it's not, for me, it's not worth like risking what I would normally risk by any means. So look at this, NAS. You have US30 also over here as well, back in this area. So maybe it could play out. Maybe you get a little boost, but even if it does, I would probably go break even relatively quickly with a setup like this. Okay. So let's go look at Bitcoin. Like I said, I was going to. Today, what do they call it? They're calling it like the crypto summit. Yeah. So there we go. So we're starting to get that move here that I was talking about with Bitcoin. I wanted to compare this to like ETH Sol, ETH as well. Look, ETH came right back to this same area here. Already rejected. Solana actually got above this, so Solana is trading a little bit higher, while Bitcoin was the one that took a little bit more time to get into the zone. So if we get back over here, honestly, I like the opportunity to take on a sell. Here we had a pretty big move. Bitcoin pushes up about 1,400 pips. So to be able to lock in for a sell over here would be fantastic. So let's see. Maybe we get another push, and then we can get a good sell-off. But if this keeps dropping, then obviously I won't pursue this any longer. But as of right now, it's not a terrible play. You saw how it tanked. We saw how it pushed right back up. And this is kind of why I wasn't super in love with this sell, was if you look at the way in which the market drops, the market, in my opinion, doesn't go down to create a downtrend. It goes down to eliminate buyers. Rebalances the market. I don't think we close out the big sell-off here, but I do think we rebalance and the market quickly comes back up, respects these previous levels here, and then immediately comes back up again. So, yeah, I'm just not like super enticed with this. This is continuing to drop. So I think we may have missed our opportunity here with Bitcoin. Looks like it's already doing its thing, which is not a big deal. Now, I do want to follow up with NAS. See, guys, this broke right through. So I know tons of traders just took a position on this, and again, what happened? They got clapped. They got stopped out. Why? Because they were forcing a position here. And so now this can turn into something way different. So if we look at, for example, US30 is trading below here again. This is starting to look more like this, right? Entonces, como pueden ver, chicos, como les decía, no había suficiente demanda aquí para entrar en compras. No era una oportunidad de alta calidad. Entonces, por eso es que les dije, no es una que les voy a compartir. Sin embargo, creo que ahora podemos ver oportunidades para ventas con US30. So, yeah, a New York Open now in less than 30 minutes could set up for something like this. And looks a lot more possible. So this is a kind of a new approach that we'll probably take here with a US30. Yes, it's a massive move. So suddenly you have a 150 point stop maybe. Do you want to take that? Well, if you don't like how massive that would be, then you can always look to maybe find narrow another position in. For example, here we've seen US30 spike up even within these small time frames and then drop. So maybe you get an entry a little bit closer to this area, and then this would help out your risk reward quite a bit. Now, this is assuming that we stay pretty bearish here moving forward. Gold falling off again. I'll show you guys here in a sec. So this is the game plan on US30. We have alerts here once we get back to these zones. Let's just start getting closer. All right, so there's US30. And then metals, right? We just saw that. So silver just set off one of my alerts. All right, where are you guys at? Okay, so we have this right here now. And silver played out of this zone before. We kind of mitigated this huge sell-off and then kept pushing higher. And we hadn't quite rejected this here. And this is what I was waiting for with silver before. And it looks pretty cool. But the question is, what about gold? Is gold going to be anywhere near this or not? And because looking at silver, this silver is rejecting this zone here. This was on Wednesday, right? Wednesday spiked down, started flying right back up. If you look at gold on that same time period, we already traded out of here. We're already trading out of these levels. So if I look at gold and I look at silver, right now we're seeing silver start to crack below and push a lot lower than we've seen even gold do. So it starts to get a little bit trickier because then you're thinking, well, what's the play here? Because gold also gave us a very aggressive drop. Here you had a huge sell-off. And then the market, went up, did its thing, is doing its thing, blah, blah, blah. So seeing how the market's playing out right now, I don't think this silver buy is a terrible play. The only question is, are we going to reject right here? So let's say you take this. Now, this might already be playing out of this zone. Check this out here. You have a sweep, a continuation, bullish structure. Right now, could it just reject this? If it keeps going from here, then I wouldn't get in again or anything like that. But I do think there's opportunity. Right now, we are currently sweeping below these lows, right below all of this support. So let's kind of see what happens. Like, this is where we've seen some support before. So I do think that we can get a silver buy out of this zone. The only thing I'm keeping in mind as well is the fact that gold is also at some of these areas, some of these lows. Maybe it wants to push a little bit lower. We will see. But in terms of a setup, here we have a clear drop before a continuation. The question is it going to come back down and give me the entry that I want, or is it going to play out of the support and resistance we've seen here? So we'll see. If you have maybe a more conservative approach, maybe you are looking to take this already. I am really okay with, for me, missing out on trades doesn't bother me too much anymore, just because I just see a lot of setups. So it's not the biggest deal in the world. And I'm okay just kind of, waiting for another one. All right, so I'm looking at this, and it is starting to reject pretty decently. So, for example, this drop here was about, you can tell it drops like 21 cents. So if this, and this is just how I trade, but if this rejects those 21 cents, to me what that means is that the buyers came in. Like the positions, the orders came in. They mitigated. So we swapped from the sells. The sell position is the money that's used to sell off the market, rejects right here. And then if we just keep ripping, then that was it. And no monies for me. But if it doesn't, oh, you know what? Wow. On futures, it came to my zone. Interesting. On futures, this actually got lower. And it totally triggered over here. So this is something that I'm noticing as I'm seeing this happen more and more throughout the last year or so. But what I'm noticing is that with metals specifically, the price action looks better on futures every time. Like my setups, at least, just like the data feeds are slightly different. So for example, on futures with silver, the market right now pushed not to here. It actually pushed down to here. It perfectly traded my zone. So it is, and I just didn't have it pulled up, but it is a little bit frustrating because I would be in this trade already. And we'd be running about 1-to-1 right now. So it is what it is. Man, it's interesting because you can have less information or not enough, or just look at the market from only your lens, only how you know how to see it, and still be successful. Like, as I've learned more and more, so like as I've learned more and more about trading, data feeds, just, you just get more exposure to just different perspectives, different takes in the market. And as I've collected more and more perspectives, some that I believe are true, some that I don't agree with, and then also debunking even things that I used to think, and especially from the very beginning, and then, things that worked for me, and then I realized, okay, I can actually make a tweak and an adjustment, and now things are even better. But you can do well with this and see this completely different than 99% of the people. You can do well with this and not even have all of the information. So it's interesting because, for example, and I noticed this happened to me a lot this last year with metals, and I didn't know why, but I was like, why are my entries not really hitting the same on metals? Like I'll miss entries constantly. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, this works really well, but I'm tend to miss on here. And so now, as I have more information, for whatever reason, futures data is just a lot more precise for me with metals. But the cool thing is, I didn't need that. I didn't need to even know this or see this the whole time. But we've still been able to do well in the markets. So it's kind of like, and the whole thing is like, it's not about being right. It's not. It's about your probabilities, like knowing theoretically how well your system works with what it is that you know and what it is that you're doing, the probabilities of that, and then being able to follow it. So that's kind of why like ignorance is bliss kind of makes sense with trading too. It's also, there's this idea where it's like, if you learn the rules so you know how to break them. Like, I love that concept. You learn the rules so you know how, it's not just to break them, but you know how to break them. You know when to break them. You know when to make sense out of it. And that's not to say you break your trading rules. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's certain perspectives in the markets that you're taught to follow, taught to understand. So when you first get into trading, you learn support, you learn resistance, you learn trend lines, you learn all these different things. And then you realize, or you might get to the point where you realize, so what is support? What is really happening here? What's really happening with money here? What is really going on behind the scenes? And then you can get into the whole rabbit hole of who really runs the markets and who does all of these things. But I think that's just like what's so interesting. It's like, this is not a game of perfection. It's a game of progression. So anyways, so far, like I've been saying, been rambling here, but excuse me, gold took a much better reaction, aggressive move, did its thing. I'm not going to take anything else here on silver, but cool. Did its thing. Just wanted to share with you guys. Now, what we haven't gone into yet is we haven't looked at the majors, right? We haven't looked at what's going on with AUD USD, NZD USD, Euro, all that good stuff. So before we get back into that, though, now we're about 19 minutes away from New York Open. So, again, things are about to get fun. The journey continues here. Tap my zone on silver. Nice. Llegó a la zona ayer plata. Word. The liquidity that is building is why I will take it, but 10% of what I normally risk. Okay, cool. Anyone learn anything new so far today? ¿Han aprendido algo? Me dejan saber. Me dejan saber, chicos. Cuéntenme, y si necesitan traducción de algo en particular, también me comparten, me dan saber en este momento. All right. Here we go. So US30 is starting to build up more and more. It's creating demand below lows. It's looking solid to me, guys. All right, here we go. New York Open here soon. So, and that's why you don't necessarily have to rush to get into the market. You don't have to force entries. There's going to be different moments that give you different types of opportunities as things carry on. So you'll see, like, oh no, I missed out. And this is, I think, where all the mistakes come from. It's you feel like you're in some sort of rush, as if like this is the only time the market's ever going to be able to give you an opportunity. Nah, it's chill. I wonder, now I'm not super well versed with like copyright here on YouTube and like the streams and everything, but for New York Open, I really wanted to play Bad Bunny's Nueva Yo. Like, I feel like the vibes are just right. ACV, I learned that I'm a dumbass. Yo, what? Yo, this chat is crazy. That's why. Vete en español, yeah, I just was not. I read that, and I didn't process it at the same pace. I'm sure that's not that. Well, you know what? I can't speak for you. So, you are whatever you believe you are. Yeah, it sent me. Con BTC creo que podríamos caer otra vez aquí. Creo que podríamos llegar. Ya la venta se dio, pero esta compra me interesa para más tarde. Can someone remind me when the crypto summit thingy is later today? Someone let me know. I can look it up, but I just don't remember right now. PR, what's up? Ya le di US30 in short. Fire. All right, let me get into the majors. Y'all gotta love yourselves, man. Okay, so wild. All right, so there's this entry here about from a couple of days ago. We had a little sell-off here, and this already pulled back just about to the 886, and it's actually starting to reject this zone. So we had it sell off, clear out some liquidity, and then absolutely rip. And that was odd USD, and then NZD USD has a similar structure, like identical, except that it's dropping at a slower pace. So I definitely prefer taking a shot at NZD USD for a buy rather than odd USD here. So I did have an alert here. I think I reset all my alerts, so I definitely lost a few here. So anyways, here someone said 1 p.m. Guys, I need a time zone. I don't know where in the world you guys are in. My bad. Please include a time zone. 1:30 EST. All right, appreciate you. So, yeah, I would like a buy here in NZD USD. If you look at Euro, these are just trading at a completely different structures, different levels. GU, same thing. Like GU has the same sort of opportunity here. It was a big sell-off here, and then we haven't quite gotten to this level yet. Like not even close. But it's also trading a lot different. So these are situations where you can look at the market and you go, well, shouldn't you trade GBP USD? Because GU is way over here. NZD USD is way down here. The difference is that this is already making a higher high, higher low. So like the structure is completely different already. So what might happen is that GU might be getting into a different kind of zone for itself. So I'll keep an eye on that. I'm not really too much in a rush to be in the market with these. What is interesting to me is this euro. Euro just got to a daily level. This happened back during elections. Elections here. And we saw a huge push to the upside before the drop. So if you guys use your replay tool, bar replay, you guys can see this. Miren chicos, esto sucedió durante los tiempos de las elecciones, por aquí, y vimos un impulso muy fuerte. What the fuck is going on with this thing? Technology, man. Y'all saw that. Why? What's up? It's not looking very interesting. Went mute for a sec. Me? No. Well. So, yeah, EU, Euro, we saw it kind of pop off here during New York sesh. You have one last move to the upside before it just melts away. So Euro on the daily, I could definitely understand why people would want to short for something like this, for sure. If you look at GBP USD, pretty similar. However, it's just got a lot more room to run. So considering that Euro USD right now, to me, looks like it's very bullish, especially across other dollar pairs. Euro, to me, has the most bullish momentum. So getting in front of the bull doesn't really make a lot of sense. If I want to sell with the weakest of the bulls. And so, yeah, it's not really there for me. So, if anything, buys make sense for something like NZD USD here. That kind of makes more sense to me. Or we can see, just how GBP USD continues to set up as well. So, keep an eye on NZD USD for this buy here. I'm looking to buy off of Wednesdays. A couple hours before New York Open, we saw a sell-off and a rally. So looking to get in this zone. Chicos, esto cae, captura liquidez, sube. Entonces, con NZD USD se ve bien. O con Libra Dólar también tenemos la misma situación. Captura de liquidez y estamos por aquí arriba. Yeah, Tom. All right. So let's get ready. I know a lot of you are plugging in here. Some of you have been with me since almost an hour ago. Actually, wait, have I been on for an hour already? No way. Wow. I don't shut up, huh? Damn. It's crazy. That flew. I'm gonna be honest. That one flew. All right. So with US30, setup's looking good. What we wanted, we're getting in order to get a quality opportunity. So we're seeing the sweep of liquidity. We're seeing, price when price came up, because it came up so quick and also lost that momentum so fast. We were able to understand that this was not bullish. This was not to make higher highs. This was not for buys. This was to liquidate retail sellers and lure in, lure in buyers as well, retail buyers. That's why it came down so aggressively. So seeing what we have now, the market honestly looks primed for more sells. So this looks starting to look good. We've been trading below this low now for the last 20, 25 minutes or so, which is great. And then I do think we can get some quality opportunities for sells over in this range right over here. In the past, we've also seen some reversals in these zones. So, just kind of getting into this area, I think. And we can take a look at this in a bigger picture. But over here, we've seen the market reject in the past. some solid levels of resistance, support, just all up in this range. You've seen a lot of reversals. So the market rejecting in the zone also makes sense. So picking your spot for a sell in this area is going to be key. Whether you want to do it because of price action, you want to do it because of an order block or whatever, that's up to you. I'm going to be taking a position like right around here. Now, one thing you want to also remember is you will have some sense of what was I going to say? You will have different types of entry models once you get into the zone. Your stop might be a little bit large, right? So if you have a big stop, you have to think about this. It's all about risk reward. And can your account, does it work for your account? If you're trading smaller accounts, don't over leverage, right? Now, we're going to compare this to NASDAQ as well again, because the markets change. And as we're looking at NASDAQ is kind of got below, but it's not as bearish. Like you guys can see, US30 is clearly trading underneath. It's made a lower low, and it's been below this low for about 20, 25 minutes now. Whereas NAS here is kind of staying within the structure all over again. So because NAS still, remember, NASDAQ still could come and trade up here. This is what we originally, honestly, I thought we were going to get this for NFP. Turns out it was US30 was what shorted on NFP. But this is the original idea. We wanted to short out of this zone, and we could still get this. Totally still get this. So keep an eye out on what goes down here between US30, NAS. We'll see what price action looks like when New York Open rolls out. So we'll go ahead and we'll split screen this bad boy so we kind of have both here in front of us. And then for those of you that took that gold or that silver buy, well done. Well done, folks. Hopefully you're able to extract something out of the market there. Nice. Very nice. So, all right. I'm setting up figuring out what my contract sizes are going to be for a possible short on Dow Jones. So if I'm going to short YM, then I want to know. And let me pull that up on futures for you guys. How many here are trading futures? Drop a futures in the chat if you're trading futures. So the setup with futures, for me, looks like closer to this zone here. Right there. This is more so where I want to sell. This is not up to date, but we already, this is the zone. Either way, this is the zone. But price action, we're missing 10 minutes of price action here. So we have this was a massive buy, a secondary move, and then it just tanks. So in reality, anywhere in this zone is technically the market could drop from, but this is more specifically what I'm looking for and what I'm waiting for Dow Jones, and then NAS, which is NQ. So for me, my entries are more, it looks like it's going to be closer to, let's see. What do I got here? 42,790 on futures on YM. Right around this area here. 42,790, 42,800-ish. It's kind of where I like my entries. Seeing this chop up. We're about 2.5 minutes out from New York Open again. right, so let me set up here. All right, 42. All right. Set. So, okay, hold on. The game changes a little bit. You know what, man? Trading, price action. It's interesting. Now, suddenly, NASDAQ wants to be a bit more bearish. Look at this. We're starting to get more bearish momentum right away. While we're getting US30, still obviously bearish, but not as much. So, if we start to see the market fly up and US30 is pulling up faster and NAS is kind of lagging behind, then I'm going to trade NASDAQ. If it's the other way around, then I'm going to trade US30. Entonces, chicos, es muy importante la acción de precio. Por aquí es extremadamente importante. Y si el mercado vemos que está más lento con NASDAQ en subir, NASDAQ con más lento, voy a entrar con NASDAQ por aquí arriba. Si US30 empieza a subir más lento que NASDAQ, entonces voy a buscar entrar con US30. So again, I repeat myself. If New York Open kicks things off and US30 is slower on the way up, then I'll take US30 sells, Dow Jones, YM. If NASDAQ kicks things off and it's a lot slower to push higher, then I'll take NAS. So again, this to me is like my final confirmation to choose between these. If you're learning from me maybe for the first time, you're kind of just picking up on how I do things, don't force things, just take it step by step. All right, New York Open. Boom. Let the games begin. All right. Pushing up a little bit. Let's see here. Nothing crazy. So you know how sometimes these things kick off and it's just like, boom, hundreds of points. This one's a little bit of a slow burner. Not that it can't kick it into gear, but sometimes these just go absolutely insane. All right, so we're starting to see some momentum to the upside here. Looks like they're fairly similar. US30 might be leading this move up. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it rolls. For now, we wait. So look, and here's how you can start to get a good indication, right? Just with price action to see, okay, which one of these is more bullish, more bearish. You can just compare from the previous highs and where the market is sitting at. So like, for example, if NAS starts to crack above this high first, then, okay, this might be the bull of the two. Well, that's not the case, right? We're seeing, first off, they're really, really similar right now. US30 gave us, it traded below the previous low for now. This is the 35th minute that we're in, or within the first 30 minutes of it being pretty bearish. Whereas, we might see NAS just stay chilling here. And if right now, look, US30 is starting to go higher a little bit faster. So if US30 starts to push up here and NAS is just really slow and working its way higher, then that could set up for our sell on NAS. Entonces, si vemos que arranca mucho impulso hacia arriba, US30 y NASDAQ le está costando, entonces posiblemente podríamos tener la venta con NASDAQ por aquí arriba en el futuro. And it's looking like this might be the case. So look at this. Right now, US Dow Jones starting to pump a bit faster. It's already trading above these previous highs here, whereas NASDAQ hasn't been able to crack above this at all, right? We haven't been able to get above this at all. So when we see things like this, it's a sign that NAS is probably going to be the one that we're looking to sell. Entonces, viendo esto, chicos, miren, NASDAQ le está costando subir aquí. US30 ya va subiendo. Entonces, no le voy a disparar a US30. Le voy a disparar, por lo que veo en el momento, le voy a disparar a NASDAQ. All right, so this is what it looks like so far. So part of, I would say, what my strength would be is to be able to adapt. When you can adapt, then you're able to be fluid with the market, right? Market fluidity, in my opinion, is really important. So that way you're not just always married to your own beliefs all the time of what you think is supposed to happen. So, okay, take a look at this. NAS is starting to go up now, right? We're starting to see a little bit more of a momentum above here. So it's clearly up. But Dow Jones is definitely trading a lot higher. Dow Jones already cracked above this 805 price action. NASDAQ is trading below that price action right now. So Dow Jones pushing. There you go. Entonces, chicos, sí me interesa más la venta con NASDAQ ahora y me voy a esperar para dispararle al mercado por aquí arriba. So a big thing for everyone here is I didn't get to making and having decisions like this, concrete decisions, convicted decisions, until I just had enough data. Like it was just trades after trades and building out the sample size, tracking everything, looking at it. It's like not cool, but it's what you got to do, you know? So it's the extra work for sure. So that's just what I did though. You don't have to be me. All right. Futures. All right. Cool. Thought it was a 3-hour special today. We've been live for a little over an hour 20. 24-hour special. Y'all are funny. Mike, en temporadas mayores, ¿qué te parece el precio de 40,600? Te lo puedo dejar saber después. Futures. S. Está calmadito. Can you check SWE? I could. Okay. So let's see price action now. Now again, here we go. Now we're seeing these are pretty even now. US30 trading right above this high, and you have NAS trading right above the same high. Gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. Let's see how this unfolds. Okay. What I will add is, with New York Open, after that, we don't have news until 11:30. So we don't really have any high impact news for about a little under 3 hours. I'm not going to be live for all that time by any means. But in relation to any other dollar pairs, I'm not really focused on much else there. You have gold and silver still pushing higher, cranking things out here. You have, right now, Bitcoin worked its way lower as well. I think later on when you have that, the crypto summit in, I think I heard like in about 4 hours or so, I'm sure it'll be very volatile. I am looking for buys in this zone. So this is something that definitely piques my interest. Basically, my entries are below 84K, specifically below 83. But I do want to see something here for BTC in the near future. Gold on that pump. Yeah, gold is doing its thing. It's on a mission. Gold is on a mission. If you guys haven't seen it, but we just saw indices drop. First, NAS though. NAS worked its way down a bit further down. US30 also worked its way down, just not as aggressively. So what does this show us? It shows us that when sellers come into the market, they are taking NAS down much more aggressively than US30. So again, this is why I'm leaning more towards NASDAQ sells when it gets to the right zones. So now the question is, where is that zone? Is it going to be selling this New York open in like these areas somewhere over here? Or is it about getting to this zone up here that was set up yesterday? So personally, I prefer trading up here and staying patient to this in particular. That to me makes a lot more sense. Okay. Here we are. Let this thing roll. So this has been it's very interesting the way price is moving here between NAS and between US30, because they're kind of going back and forth. It's like, oh, well, NAS is slower. No, actually US30 is slower. So this is why trade management is so valuable, is you just get to work your way through. You just stay agile, you stay patient, and you strike when you're meant to strike. So look right now, what's happening. Now NAS has the advantage. Ahora NASDAQ está más alcista. Just like that. Okay. So if NASDAQ keeps pushing and US30 is just taking its sweet ass time, then all right, I'll take a sell on US30. The good thing is, like, I'm just prepared. I know what contracts I need if I'm going to trade NASDAQ. I know what contracts I need if I'm going to trade US30. So it's cool. It's all gravy. All right. See this thing rip. So right now, look at this. NAS is breaking above the previous high it just made, like, minutes ago. US30 a little slower on that move. So we're definitely seeing NASDAQ leading the push this time around. And you're seeing US30, obviously it's going higher, but just not at the same capacity. So what I could see happen is I could see, we will find out. I could see NAS maybe getting up to here when US30 is getting up to like these zones over here. So that's also a possibility. So this is quite the back and forth here between NASDAQ and Dow Jones. Oil is starting to pump. Cool. You have the Japanese, the Nikkei. Any of you guys ever traded the Nikkei before? Nikkei is pretty cool. Japanese index. If you guys ever want to just get some inspiration, there's some really cool like documentary style videos that I watched a while back, maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe a little longer. I don't know if they're still making them, but this channel is sick. I think they're called Billionaire Bears, and they've basically done like a kind of like it's like a Japanese style edit, but they're just like 20-30 minute videos, and they're just like the story of retail traders that just made it happen. They made it to the big leagues. So if you guys ever want to get inspired and just kind of yeah, work it through. I mean, these guys are epic. So yeah, check out these videos. These are so sick. Like if you really want inspiration, these are insane. They feel like just documentaries, like just dope movies. But yeah, check these out. These are pretty dope. Says all of these. Honestly, I've enjoyed every single one of these. They're pretty dope. So yeah, check these out if you ever want to get inspired. I think most of these are 20 minutes, some 30, 11 months ago. Rough. Yeah, these guys got to make more. I don't know what's stopping them, but they should. So, all right. So, guys, we are getting pretty good evidence now that NAS is the bull. Like, NAS is pushing a lot further, and Dow Jones kind of got stuck below here. Like, hasn't broke out. It hasn't even gotten above the after, like we saw that New York Open push. So, yeah, this is looking pretty good. Let's see here. So, we're clearly seeing a lot of momentum right now on NASDAQ. NASDAQ retracing pretty aggressively. US30 starting to work its way a little bit higher as well now. Starting to see it go through. Finally broke above here. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be one or the other. So either we sell Dow Jones over here or we take a position with NAS. Maybe you could look for a sell here, but these up here are very, very enticing as well. And either way, I'm down with it because I do think because of all this liquidity, even if one of these fails, like I'll take my other shot because I do think we're going to make another push down. But yeah, check this channel out though. They're cool. They got really cool stuff. Este canal tiene buenos documentales, si los quieren revisar, chicos, brutal. Mucho contenido, mucha inspiración. Patreons. Okay, so close that out. All right, let me look at the chat. What's up, show? What's up? Vi todos los videos, están tremendos. Yeah, they're fire. Rumor is that Kim Jong-un is launching a meme coin. Oh, God, no. Tell me why I feel like... Oh, my God. We need to stop. We need to stop these meme coin rug pulls. The thing is, a Kim Jong-un meme coin, I already know degens are going to throw money at that. I already know that. Like... It sounds so ridiculous, and that's why it's going to work. Well, it's not going to work long term, but like money's going to go in there for sure, if that's a real thing. Okay, so right now, take a look at this, guys. We saw NAS kind of stall out. So right now we're seeing Dow Jones pushing further and further to the upside. It's been a slow move up too. So I just wanted to add that. Like we did trade below here for a good 40 minutes or so. But now NAS is slowing down. Slowing down. So what's going to happen here? Time to make decisions, folks. Time to make decisions. Trade Dow Jones. Trade NASDAQ. What's it going to be? If we look at this right now, we're seeing a pullback between that 50-618 excuse me, with US30. NASDAQ at the moment is pulling up to here, and it's trading around above. Was basically around, these are like the same right now. So technically with this structure, Dow Jones is still kind of lagging behind slightly. Let's see what happens. I think I'm going to take a shot at this. Worst case, this trade fails, then we have that NASDAQ zone from up top. Nas is testing me. What's going to happen is Nas is going to give me a nice sell and a 5-to-1. Okay. Yeah, I hope it does. Have to watch at least one of those videos every month. They never get old. No, they don't. Storytelling is fantastic. Those guys kill it. I think we're still going higher to your original sell for Nas. Same bias for US30, but who knows? The market will let us know. The market will let us know. You're not wrong. Let us know. I feel like getting a closing out this NFP open makes sense. The thing is, maybe we just catch a quick drop and then we rally again. That's also a possibility. But this is starting to pump up right now. Finally got to this area here. Nas back in the zone as well. So, I mean, yeah, if we zoom out, and take a look at this, right? We kind of just traded in this range. This broke on the smaller time frame, but we didn't quite get lower lows here. Nas as well, getting into, kind of clearing out this like 1 minute liquidity that it was building up over here. So swept all of this, now getting into this range. Let's see here. So, yeah, this Nas zone, this to me looks like the highest possibility up here. Like you can tell that US30 and NASDAQ are pulling back up basically at the same pace. So if we do get a mitigation of NFP open, then fantastic. Otherwise, we can see the short up here as well. But here, let's see, we got up to right around this zone. I don't know if this triggered me in yet. Let's see. Oof, close. I was like, I think 10 points away, 13 points away. Let's see. Let's see. So yeah, this got like right to here, a little short of that. All right. And then let's zoom out a little bit more. Let's see what we got going on over here. So US30 overall is pretty efficient. We could say maybe there's some liquidity up here. Yeah. Definitely some liquidity down here. So the desire for this to drop looks pretty present at some point. Doesn't mean it has to happen now. If it does and it didn't trigger me in, I'm going to have to make some calls because, that's just not allowed. Okay. So right now, let's see here. We got it's pulled back. US30 is pulled back. Dow Jones is pulled back almost to 786, I think. Yeah, just short. And then Nas here came back up to retrace as well. I think it was also just short of that 786 pullback. If we see this start to melt and just like immediately, melt away, then that was the case, right? That could have been the short. If not, then no dice. So here, to me, I think we're going to push higher one more time. You see Nas is kind of making these equal highs right there. So this should push, I think, one more time. That could trigger me in. And then if we do get a nice drop, we got a nice sell-off continuation. Probably take this right into this zone minimum and then protect if that's how that rolls out. Okay. Japanese index as well, just to give you guys another comparison, pushed up here with NFP and then tanked, stayed down there. So also not a bad play. German index looks very efficient here. It doesn't really seem like it needs to go up too much more. All right, NAS started pushing a little bit faster. Look at this. NAS just cleared 786, and it's pushing up even more, while US30 is holding it down. So look at this. Wow, this is going to miss me, huh? So right now, remember how I said we're building up equal highs here, and NAS could push higher? It did. So NAS cleared up a bit more. This liquidity here pushed up. This now is going between 786, 886. Meanwhile, US30, slower on the way up. Struggling right now. It's kind of chopping up. Finally starting to move up. Still not even at 786, but you guys can tell now for sure, at least it looks to me a lot more clear, that if we are going to do a short, US30 does make more sense because it's not going up as strong as we're seeing NAS go up. Right? NAS is continuing to push up and up and up, and US30 is slower. It's like it kind of wants to, kind of doesn't. So honestly, I think this might wick us right in, and then ideally we see it just melt off the face of the earth. So my short is like right here, I think. Let's see where we are right now. Yeah, like right there. Not just because it's a 786, but because we have some support here in the past. So I'm taking this position. And let's see if we get it. And then this, I, for now, would like to see it clear liquidity. Let's see. Hopefully this wants to get me in, though. Updates on gold and silver. Gold pushing strong. I think maybe even made another buy, is setting up for a buy as well. And then gold and silver, yeah, they're pumping. Still about 150 pips from my zone for a gold sell, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. Chicos, oro y plata siguen subiendo. Todavía falta un poco para que se active la idea. Faltan como 150 pips para la venta con oro. Pero ahí va. Y aquí actualizando con los índices, tengo la venta con US30 aquí, arribita. NASDAQ sigue subiendo con más fuerza y US30 le está costando subir, que es buena noticia para una venta que queremos. Tengo en mente que podríamos ver un impulso más y después la caída. Creo que es lo que puede suceder por aquí. All right, what are you guys going to do here? Of course, you know, I'm just showing you what I do, how I interpret the market. And I wish you guys the absolute best as you trade today. So I am just shy of being triggered into this thing. Oof, so close. So close. If this, am I gonna miss this? Let's see. I don't think it hit, yeah. No, it didn't trigger me in. Wow. No way. This would be a very audacious moment if this thing does not trigger me in. That would be just diabolical at this point. Oh my goodness. How much was that? What? 3-4 points? That's just disrespectful. That is what we call disrespect. No way. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. It really be the ones closest to you. I've been talking all nice to you this whole time, and that's how they pay you. That's how they repay you, man. Argentina en la casa. ¿Qué tal, Argentina? What's up, guys? Mike, you deleted the idea on US30? Nah. Nah, I had this here. This is the setup. I'm not in because, fuck me, right? But yeah, so you're looking for a short on NAS, on the NFP wick on Dow, but looking for short NAS on yesterday's zone. Yeah. That's the game plan. So this pump here was about, like 70, like 100, 110 points. Right now we came up. This thing just dropped decent amount, like 80, 90 almost. Okay. So if this comes back up to, let's say, refill, trade over here, you could take another position, or not another, but a position if you wanted to just kind of lock yourself in. It would be a different risk reward. But, yeah, so this is, you guys are seeing me right now totally get shafted here. Okay. So if it comes back up, for me, sick. If it doesn't, sick. There's nothing else I can do. I'm not going to chase it. I'm not going to take a terrible position now. So, unfortunate, most definitely. Most definitely. Who's in there though? Is someone making money? Please. Make it worth it. I just want someone to have a little bit of success here. What a drop. Right now, this thing has dropped 120 points. Sick. And this money comes in, right? You guys can clearly see this. So just shy of my entry. I know looks like, let's see here. I'm in there. Okay, so yeah, awesome. So some of you guys are in here. ¿Quién aquí está dentro? I'm in there. Yeah, you guys are in. Awesome. Missed me. I made some money. Cool. Got filled in. Seth Hill is in. Zaina is in. I entered right below your entry. You are better than I am. Fuck yeah. Good shit, guys. Awesome. So if you did take this, which was, let's say, somewhere in here, at the moment, you are seeing roughly maybe like 1.5 R, 1.7 R, right? Somewhere in here. So yeah, that's great stuff, guys. And then if you look at NASDAQ's price action, NASDAQ actually started to drop again really, really well. So both ended up playing out. If you took NAS, then you're probably seeing some gains here as well. I would move my stop. I would put my stop in profit for sure. So here we saw it come back down, come back up, go back down. So I would move my stop here, get myself into some profits just in case it rips right back up. You can get something out of this. So, yeah, well done, guys. And then here was a big move down before it goes up. I do think there's a chance that it breaks the lows now. If it doesn't break these lows now, then that NAS play that we talked about earlier could still work out. So that's it. Now, I'm not going to chase this. I'm not going to go ahead and take this. To me, this is a clear example of money coming into the market. So, dope. Not my day today for the short. I need to screenshot this just so I can remember what pain feels like later on. What button is this? What is the screenshot button? Why don't I remember? Is it this? No. I do this all the time. No. Hold on. All right, here we go. Yeah, why don't I remember what this thing is? Command? Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll know. So, cool. I'm happy that at least you guys got something out of this. Top right. No, not the chart screenshot, like the Apple, like the you can like draw a box. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Where you can do something like this. What the fuck? I do this all the time. Y'all ever just forget something that you always do? Shift Windows S. I'm on Mac. Shift Windows. Maybe it's. I think I was doing the wrong order. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm tired of this. Whatever. I'm over it. Shift Command 4. Shift Command 4. Is that really it? Oh yeah. Why did I forget that? Clearly, I'm not myself today. There's a version of me in another universe that took this trade. All right. Anyone take profit already? Posible reentrada. It's funny. I always hear that. Re-entry. Why do you want to re-enter? Is there a setup? ¿Hay oportunidad? Okay. This is the questions. Why do you want to re-enter? Is the trade there? I don't see a new trade. I mean, look at this thing. Sure, maybe. It clears the highs by a little bit. Comes back. Comes right back up. Would I re-enter? Nah. This is coming back up way too fast. And no chance, man. No chance. No chance. So what I would do, and what I think we're going to get, I think we're going to get that NAS trade. Cody, I think we're going to get it, man. I think we're going to get this bad boy. So fantastic. For those of you that were able to get in this, maybe didn't go the full RR that you want to, and it still could. I'm not saying it won't. But in my opinion, we have seen the way that this reacted was aggressive. We saw a fantastic short here. And depending on what your exit strategy is, you know, you maybe got something out of this, maybe you didn't. But it was a pretty aggressive move. And so now seeing the way this shorted here, right? Decent, not as much as maybe you would want. If you're looking at NAS, similar play here, very sideways, pushed up one last bit, and then this thing started to drop. So at the moment, I do think that like this is still in play for some of you, I'm sure. But now what's cool is this trade at least should be stop and profit. That's how I would approach this. And then I still like the opportunity over here. Right over here. Hit TP. Nice. Yes, sir. Didn't break the lows as of yet, so I'm assuming we will off your NAS trade. 30 was a banger. Y se marchó y a su barco le llamó Libertad. Nice. Plus spacebar for the whole screen. Mike Inspire. What's good, bro? Powell speaks today. Yeah, that's in a few hours. Few hours. Okay. So that NAS trade, this is the one. This is the one. Chicos, aquí básicamente ya esta idea se entraron con US30, ¿verdad? Se fue en ganancia, bajó como que fueron casi 200 puntos. Por los que entraron, a mí se me escapó la entrada y no estoy buscando entrar otra vez. Dependiendo de su riesgo-recompensa, quizás salieron, quizás no. Pero peor caso, protegen su idea o pónganse en profit. En mi opinión, paguen para que aunque sea le puedan retirar un poquito a la idea, ya que esta caída fue muy, muy rápida y regresó. Creo que tenemos intención de seguir subiendo y creo que podríamos llegar por esas áreas. What the fuck? La idea desde arriba. Gold. There we go. So gold moving different. Gold, our friend Gold here, has cleared, taking care of business over here. Retail buys were cleared up. So we had some trend lines going on over here. Had some buyers up in this range. Market got dipped below here. We had liquidity as well. And I'm going to show you guys what this also looks like on futures. So gold clearly sweeps below liquidity, gets below a lot of retail buyers, and then rips to the upside. So we see sweep below these lows, trending. Then you also get a sweep below a lot of this support that was building out during London session, Asian session, all over here. Get below that, market just rips, absolutely starts ripping. And this happens about hour 10. So we see a nice push down. So can we get a buy in the zone? Yeah, I do believe so. Again, this chart that you're looking at is delayed 10 minutes. This is actually more bullish than what we're seeing right now. But yeah, I wanted to get that here in front of you guys. So if I wanted to buy here, if gold keeps being the leader in the move to the upside, if it's kind of like the lead bull, then, you know, I would feel pretty good about taking positions somewhere in this range. You can decide where exactly. Conservative would be here, and you have like a 50, 60 point stop, like where we've seen support before. You've seen a lot of key reversals over there. This would be a fantastic RR. I just don't know if it's going to get that low. But yeah, that's gold. I'm going to bring back CFDs just so you guys can see it. But yeah, you see the move here. Big sweep below, and then the market rips. So again, these are the areas where I think we could get a reversal on the buy. Market already mitigated this. So aquí, mercado ya mitigó esta zona. Después nos dio otra caída aquí. Y está empezando a formarse. So we're starting to see some bullish momentum here. Now we are about 120 pips away from a possible sell. So here we have this. Got to tone that down a little bit. So could be happening soon. Could be happening soon here. If you look at silver pushing up as well, making its move. However, silver is chilling. Silver is at a slower pace now to the upside. So curious. BTC in the zone. BTC already shorted. It already sold off, in my opinion. Yeah, we talked about this. This already fell off. Like, this already did its thing. This had a huge drop right there. So this was the mitigation. I'm not shorting. I'm not in Bitcoin. I'm not. No, sir. This thing already rejected. Wanted to keep going. Cool. Yeah, I'm not taking this. Me dio reentrada US30. A mí no. Pero te deseo lo mejor. Te deseo lo mejor. Si te dio la reentrada, espero que se te derrite y que te hagas bien rico. Pero yo no tenía entrada, entonces no disparé. Pero mira, te va bien. Let's go. Y eso es parte de convertirse en un buen trader, es que tú ejecutas cuando es tu idea. Cuando se te presenta exactamente tu modelo de entrada, estás entrando. Aunque alguien más no lo está haciendo, aunque sea yo, tienes que tener convicción con tu propia perspectiva. So having the conviction to take your own entries, to take your own maybe re-entries if it makes sense. But at the end of the day, guys, the important thing is, like, you just need to have a system in which you do these things. You need to have a purpose, a reason in which you do what you do. If you are just kind of doing whatever you feel like it, then it's not really helping you. Because like, every trade should be adding to, it should be building a good habit, or it should be adding to the proof you already have about the things that you know work for you. Now, if you're in an experimentation phase and you're kind of figuring out what that is, then you want to, document the things that you're doing, the theories that you're putting into practice, and that way you can figure out if it's really worth it or not. But if you're like, okay, well, I already know that these things work for me, and you have other theories or ideas, then that's all something that you want to figure out, but you don't necessarily have to put your money at risk if you're still figuring out something new about your trading system. Okay, so gold and silver. Gold, still waiting for this bad boy. So much liquidity here. Could clear this. We could get a rejection here. And then we have silver. That's been more bullish just in general. However, right now, it's starting to... It was kind of slower in working its way back up, but it is getting a good bullish momentum. Like, it's not too much behind this previous high. So I do still think that gold sell can play out. I am just going to be very on top of this. Now, I don't know if I'm going to still be live by the time that we get over here. It's possible that I'm not. So we shall see, my friends. We shall see. Look at that. US30 working its way down nicely. Anyone still holding this? ¿Quién aquí dentro todavía? You guys are killing it, man. We've had almost 600 people on throughout this session. Sick. Re-entry on 30. Awesome. Nah, I was chilling. But I'm still in US30 sell. I think we can see that liquidity and the bearish trends we've been seeing for the first couple of weeks now. Yeah, I think it's possible. I would be thinking similar if I was in this. But, market gods had other plans for me today. Yeah, I could have lied and be like, oh, yeah, I'm in there, bro. We rich AF. Although I'm at break even. Cool. I would have my stop, I think, in profits, but that's just me. I would make sure I get something out of this. Nas, what's you doing, Nas? Nas is also down there. Word. And then S&P working its way. S&P is actually dropping better, like at a faster pace, unless US30 just broke through and I didn't see it. Okay, so it's pretty similar. Nice. So now the RR is getting pushed out further. So you guys are right around maybe like 1.8, a little under. With this, I feel like this will probably hit the low now. Like, unless this little pesky candle does something, but could break through pretty well. Okay, so following up here, gold losing some momentum, silver, yeah, these are really, really tight. USD/JPY just mitigated NFP as well. USDs, these are all really similar. I wouldn't have shorted AU. I wouldn't have shorted NZD USD. No hubiera vendido ninguno de estos. Like, demand wasn't there. Yeah, wouldn't have done anything with Euro. A lot of liquidity building up with Euro USD right now. A lot of retail buyers are in here. Same thing with GU. A lot of buyers in this bish. And then the ones that were okay was, yeah, maybe USD CHF, maybe USD JPY. But even then, these lows were so, like, it just didn't last very long. What's Mexico? What's el peso? ¿Qué está haciendo este peso? ¿Qué hace? There's US30 working its way down. Now, many of you I know have a 2R as an exit rule. If that is you, listen to yourself. Appreciate the value. Hey, my pleasure. Hit that like button if you like it. And then make sure if you guys always want to be on, just turn on your notifications for the channel. And make sure you're subscribed. From here, yeah, market's pushing. Liquidity sweep seems pretty possible. And that would take you guys to a 3R, roughly, with US30. Okay, so Mexican peso just chopped up. Chop suey. A lot of liquidity here. Build it up. This maybe doesn't happen today. Now remember, you have Powell speaking. This can always be a good time. And this is in 2 hours. This is in 2 hours. And then from here, you have Trump in about, 3 hours? So we shall see today. Oil. Hold on. Okay. Oil sell here. Let's see. This would be a short from, looks like what, March 4th, so Tuesday. A couple hours before close. Oh yeah, right there. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, guys, I mean, other than that, you guys are already getting some pretty good movement to the downside. Markets relatively close to these equal lows, this liquidity. I think there's a pretty good chance that it gets there. If that's the case, then congratulations. Hopefully you learned something today. I'm not really going to stream much longer. I think at this point, it'll take some time if we do get an entry later on, and which is totally a possibility, but not really any big reason for me to stay here and just kind of keep waiting and sitting around. I can got a couple things I got to get done. But at the moment, I mean, we got the reaction off of this here originally, so that kind of closed out the sell-off. And I think right now we're starting to see the market, you had that big push down, continuation. Maybe this is that rejection. But the liquidity here looks pretty likely to get tagged in. If you are in this, I would have my stop placed like right around here so that I can at least collect, 50 points or something in a worst case scenario. And then if the market sets itself up, that NAS play from this 15 minute still looks pretty solid to me. You guys aren't seeing my screen, but like that 15-minute setup on NAS still looks quality. And then we have that gold sell too. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this, drop a comment. I think once it's uploaded, you can do that or do whatever you want. But I hope you did learn something. And then I'll have some trading psychology videos up, ideally on Sunday. Are you keeping us updated on Blaze for this idea? Oh yeah, later. Yeah, if I take that NAS sell, I'll go ahead and share that for sure. All right, now, I mean, I'm doing so much, I can't really do everything at the same time. But yeah, so anyways, appreciate you guys smashing that like button, and then doing all the other stuff. But yeah, just just stay dialed in. What I do recommend for all of you is make sure you're documenting, like journal what you did today, how you felt, how it went, what you did right, what you did well, what you did wrong. Even if, let's say, for example, for me, I didn't get triggered in, does that mean I did something wrong? Not necessarily. Sometimes you just miss. And so it is what it is. You guys were able to lock in there. Ideally, you guys make some money. And then if you made some money, if you just progressed, if you got further, if you passed a challenge, if you withdraw, go ahead, just tag me online. I'd love to see the success stories. I'd love to see those testimonials. Would love to share you guys just crushing it. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care, fam. Si les fue bien, chicos, ahí me etiquetan. Si pasaron retos o cualquier cosita, ahí me dejan saber. Se me cuiden y los veo. Hasta luego.